All right, so NBA Finals was today, but who gives a damn? KD got traded to the Rockets, and I'm gonna tell you right now, don't know how to feel about it. To be honest, I did a Rockets video not too long ago where I was basically exploring whether they should stay on their path with the young players, get KD or Giannis. Well, obviously they're not getting Giannis and they're not staying on their regular path. KD is a tricky one for me, where it's like I was trying to figure out cause I was like I didn't love that the Suns didn't get really anything else from this. They got Jalen Green, who's not gonna stay there. Um, like the only like, but they got Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and a few first round picks. Whereas I was like, the Rockets get KD. Now the reason I don't necessarily like it is because KD is like 36 or whatever, mostly injured. And I was like, on one hand, I do think that it is good that he has a young team around him because the youth of the team is, I think, what you need when you're an older player. Like, you do need some older players and some vets and stuff like that, but you need younger players who are able to carry through basically the regular season. He's going to have to play long enough in order to get acclimated to everybody else, especially because all of them have formed relationships. But he's going to have to get himself involved, which it won't be too hard. KD is that guy that he can easily put into anywhere. Um, so I was like, so I do get that. I do think that they're still going to have to do some other moves. I was like, I feel like that now that they'll keep Fred Van Vliet. I was like, I think he had the option, but I think they'll probably keep him. I was like, since you got KD, because you do, other than his former Oklahoma City buddy Steven Adams, and I was like, I know Jeff Green is there as well. You do need like some veteran people. I was like, unless you're just waiting for them to take the next step. Now the question is, do Amen Thompson take that next step like we've seen him from? But now with Jalen Green there, it's like no. Now it was also with you. He got filling in that role, but he's also a defensive player, which is cool because it's like, hey, because I was like on the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant was really kind of your defender. So you got man Thompson there. I was like Sengun down in the deep end. I was like having KD there being a consistent threat will helping all that spot as well too. So I was like, I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I was like, I do just think like he is so far ahead of them in the timeline that it's like he's not just a veteran piece like a Steven Adams, Jeff Green, or whatever to stay the ship. He's here to take the ship to the next destination. And do they still need to make another move is what I sort of feeling. Now that what they did do is keep enough young people that they could do whatever they want to. They also got enough young people that with Reed Shepard, Cam Whitmore, that even if like man Thompson's not there to necessarily fill up the void of Jalen Green and his volume of points that he did, they got enough people that you can probably put there. Maybe Fred VanVleet is gone and Reed Shepard steps in or whatever like that. But they got options, they got ways. But I was like, they didn't have to give up much, so that's why I don't hate that the Rockets got him. I was like, I don't mind it. It just sort of I think it's just gonna be weird, and we're just gonna have to see how it goes. Basically, the whole year. Like I said, nothing I love, but it's just nothing that I'm also. I was like, I understand it. You know, Phoenix on the other hand, to me, I was like, I thought the fact that they didn't even get like a Jabari Smith, I was like, I know that they wasn't really gonna give up Eason and Thompson, but I was like, you didn't get Smith at all. You didn't get Cam Whitmore, who basically doesn't play for them. Reed, I feel like that would probably be. I was like, you probably could. I think you would have been able to get him, but instead you wanted to go ahead and get whoever could be the 10th pick this year, and a couple other future picks. And I was like, I get that, but I was like, I would have been like, why not just get Cam Whitmore and or Fred Van Vliet, not Van Vliet, but Reed Shepard. Why not go ahead and get that way? You have like a couple young people and some picks. Because I was like, Jalen Green, I don't think it's saying that. I think Dylan Brooks. I do actually like Dylan Brooks being the guy beside Devin Booker. I was like, they need. I was like, I was like, they got to figure it out. But I think if you got Booker and you got Dylan Brooks, you got somebody who's going to be the tough, hard-headed dude, bringing on the defense and all the other stuff, and the team that I was like to a team that really hadn't had that since they basically was in the playoffs all a couple of years ago, going to the finals. So I was like, cool. I think that's a good pick. But that's why I said I was like Reed Shepard. I was like they totally need a point guard that could be explosive as well. I was like, what, that backcourt going to get eaten up? Sure, but it's some type of explosive. Cam Whitmore, almost like a young dude that they could sort of have other than Ryan Dunn there. You still got Grayson Allen, so there's still some pieces there. Bradley Beal, that is a black hole of things. And that's where I think that the Jalen Green thing isn't going to stick, but it's a smart move of basically, can you flip him to somebody else that sees the potential, or at least it's like, I'll take on that challenge of seeing what I can get out of Jalen Green. Because to me, that's their next move of basically filling out this roster. That's the next move of figuring out who's out here that can take him on, that has also the pieces that you can do something with. I was like, that is a little bit more, I guess, like of a challenge. Especially depending on if you want to if you want to trade them outside into the East. I think that's more of a bigger deal or whatever. I was like off the top of the head, it's not too many. I was like, see, Washington got Jordan Poole, so you're just like that's sort of be there's nothing necessarily there for them in that regard. I don't think Pistons really sound that bad. If we're going to be honest, they have pieces that you could do that, but they got Ivy who come off an injury, so you get what I'm saying. Like, would they rather do that? It really just isn't too many. Like Atlanta, I was maybe you have them go down there as well. Maybe you get like a Clint Capella and some other things back. I was like, there's not really too many teams. I was like the Bucks, maybe, you get what I'm saying? Cause I was like, I would like him with the Bucks. I think that would be really good. And I was like, they could easily send somebody like Brooke Lopez and Pat Connaughton. That's not working. I know I shouldn't have said it, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there's not really too many teams that really either need Jalen Green or is sorry enough to where they could take on Jalen Green. Because even some of the sorry teams, like, or the teams that you think like would like the Magic wouldn't before the Desmond Bain wouldn't have really worked because he's also a volume shooter to their volume shooting as well, and he's not a 3-point shooter in that same type of mode. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, Charlotte, I was like, they're young round. It's weird, like, unless they just take it on players. The Raptors, I was like, that seemed like that would be up their alley, but they already got so many of Quickly and Barrett and Ingram that you're sort of like, you sort of in that spot again of just like, what are y'all doing with the people? But I think that's going to be their next move of trying to fill out the roster. Basically, it's basically finding who in that spot wants Green and can give you maybe just 2 or 3. I'm not saying, I don't think this propels them into this basically puts them in a play-in position, but I was like, they just need depth and quality starters. Basically, center, power forward. I was like point guard because I was like, all their dudes is based on 1-year contracts. So now, if they did decide to take him in the West, Jalen Green, maybe to Minnesota. I don't think that'd be too crazy. And I was like, because they just need somebody who, I was like, I'm not saying it always be great, and I was like, him and Randall could be a whole bunch, but just sort of need somebody else that can also score. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's why I just feel like they got this thing outside the box, something like that. Like maybe they trade Jalen Green, get Nas Reed. Because Nas Reed's going to be asking for a lot of money. They ain't going to be able to pay him. Get what I'm saying? But Bradley Beal just sort of messed up the whole thing, so there's probably no hope after that. Anyway, I was like, that's why I thought the Suns should have got more from the Rockets, because they could have filled out a little bit more in depth of where, hey, they'll figure out something. Maybe Jalen Green is going to be a really expensive ass 6-man, along with their other really expensive ass 6-man. Who knows? Anyway, what y'all think of KD to the Rockets? Also, should they not do trades during the finals? I'm just saying, because I was like, Game 7 today, you're jumping off and starting off with that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Till then, wrapping it up. Appreciate it.